the last scenes that we see, but I kind of want to talk about a couple different things, like with the finale and the end.
Yeah.
So I guess first, dealing with Sabrina, we figure out like her parentage isn't what we thought it would be. We find out that she's got witch, mortal, and infernal blood. So, not Edward Spellman's daughter, and instead that's, Satan, Lucifer.
Wait, I took that as like the trio of them though.
So, and here's the thing.
The witch, mortal, and infernal.
Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know, I feel like they sort of leave out some things and leave them sort of like ambiguous. But yeah, like I agree with you that I think it's going to be more of a combination of them all.
Right.
I don't know, how, but, how the hell do virgins give birth?
Also, speaking of Rosemary's Baby, too.
Mm-hmm. and The Omen.
Yeah.
But I also kind of question Diana as if she's really human, too.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to find something out about her.
Because she's, like Diana, speaking of what's in a name, is a name of the Roman goddess of the hunt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, the Roman version of Artemis.
Mm-hmm.
Diana also, in Roman mythology, has these like underworld connections, where she sort of like guards limbo. And that's where we like first see Diana's character. Way back in like part 1.
Yeah.
We see her in limbo.
Yeah.
She's kind of like not, she's a little confused.
Yeah, she
doesn't
doesn't there. She knows who Sabrina is, even though she's grown up, but she doesn't. She's very confused.
And since we have this whole like dual nature of Sabrina, like human mortal, like she's baptized in the Church of Night, and she's also baptized in the Christian Church, the Catholic Church. So, she's kind of being pulled both the ways. Like, what if, like, she's part Satan and part, like, angel or something like that? I'm wondering if that's kind of where they're going to take it. Like, a little bit of, like, the Trinity, like, man, human, God. Spirit, human, and Satan.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, what? I can see that.
Yeah, more than just mortal, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I could see that.
If she was, though, then why would she be in that, like, purgatory area when Sabrina goes down there?
So and that's what, I don't know if we quite have all the answers yet. Like, in the comics, her mother is sort of trapped in a, like, mental hospital. So she is, like, trapped also in the comics. So I think in the show, this could be, like, her form of prison, and she doesn't know how she's, like, stuck.
And also
there.
maybe Blackwood, since we finally developed that Blackwood killed them, then maybe he did something more. Like, he actually cursed her.
Yeah.
Or them.
What else you got? They imprisoned Lucifer. What did you guys think of that? They break out her dad's old Acheron configuration, which I thought looks a lot like a bumbleball. The thing that... like vibrates and like toddlers play with it.
Oh my gosh! It
Oh
does.
no, I don't. But that's funny.
It's like from the 90s. It was just this little. It looks exactly like the Acheron.
Yeah. Is it like one of those things that ended up like jarts where it was really dangerous? Because then maybe that's also a horror reference.
Not quite that bad. Not literal steel javelins. But yeah, I thought that too.
Nah.
Well,
it doesn't hold him, though.
No. So, and then Nick has to sacrifice himself, which I knew I didn't trust him. And then I kind of like that reveal because, of course, he's just too into Sabrina at first. But I
do you think
like...
he really fell in love with her?
I do.
Yeah.
Because it's a teenage show. He really was upset. So, and he, like, cursed himself to hell to take him down. So, if that's not love.
Yeah, right. I'm team Nick Scratch 100%.
Oh, over Harvey? At least he,
garbage.
like, has half a personality.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I do like Nick.
He said, you taught me how to love.
I also love his Harvey insults, even though it is like really catty.
Whenever
he's like,
his name,
listen, farmer boy.
Yeah. Because it's so realistic, too. It's these, like, kind of testosterone-fueled, like, very teenage boy things to do, which is funny.
So we already talked a little bit about Lilith becoming the queen of hell, but I wanted to ask you guys, at the end, before Lilith, officially goes down, she says to Sabrina she's going to give her, gifts. She's going to give her 2 gifts. One, I'm going to give you your witch power back. What's the second gift? And she's like, well, you'll have to find that out. Later in the episode, when they see the real Miss Wardwell back, Sabrina guesses that's what her second gift was, but I really doubt it. Did you guys believe that, or do you think she's getting a second gift down the line?
Oh, I kind of thought so. She wouldn't care about her, but Sabrina, whenever she finally figures out that it's not the same fucking person,
gosh, yeah.
which you're like, really? But like,
it's your favorite teacher, and all of a sudden she's a completely different personality. Okay.
Yeah, she says, "What happened to Miss Wardwell? That's my favorite teacher." And then it's like, oh, did you kill her? So I did kind of assume that, but what do you think it is?
I don't know. I was just like, is that going to be a mystery for part 3? Or whatever they decide to call the next season.
And I'm wondering if it's maybe something that, like, they have a couple different storylines sketched out, and they're not quite like, that could be the second gift. But then if they decide to take it a different way, like, maybe...
Oh, yeah, that's a good possibility.
Something else will be revealed.
Leave it a little bit open.
Yeah. Because I have no idea what it could possibly be if it's not, her teacher coming back.
Ooh, that's fun. Okay, so also I wanted to get to the twin thing. We also mentioned a little bit, that every Spellman's born with an evil twin.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of the season, Sabrina spots those 2 twins. One has, hooves like Satan does. And basically, who do you think the other twin is?
And where?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Anybody? I read a theory that, like, Nick Scratch could possibly be the twin, which I'm very much not a fan about.
It's too Game of Thrones.
Yeah, like, I was just like, there's too much incest going on in TV these days. Riverdale, I started watching that, and there's a little bit of hints of incest.
Oh, yeah, it's right at the beginning.
And I'm just like, I don't understand why so much incest is being thrown all around TV. But yeah, so I'm not a fan because of that. But there's some things there. Nick Scratch is a traditional sort of like name, old Nick, old Scratch for like the devil.
For the devil, yeah.
So,
well, they did a little bit of the twin thing where she, had the imposter, kind of faking as her. So I thought that was as far as they were going to go with it.
Yeah. And that was making the golems. I'm pretty sure it's going to come up again.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole other baby.
Yeah.
So we got to find out what happened to that one. And, Zelda and Hilda, whenever they kind of split up the Blackwood twins, Hospice's kids, they're like, it's fine, we'll raise it. We've done it before. Almost kind of like, well, does that extend further? Like, as in you split up twins before?
Right, yeah.
And, like, raised one of them? So I think there's a couple things that you could look at.
And if she ultimately has to go back to Harvey, if we're going to keep with that original storyline, then that would be a good excuse with Nick, actually.
Yeah, like you can't be with Nick. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. Okay, wait and see, I suppose.
That kind of like wraps up, I think, the episode. But one of the things that we didn't really get into yet that I wanted to talk about is all the different like subversions of Catholic dogma. I thought, along with the like horror references that are just all over the place, references to Catholicism are everywhere.
Oh yeah,
and like I don't know. I don't know if it's just like this holds special interest to me. Like I grew up Catholic and I went to a lot of Catholic schools, so I took a lot of classes. So just like pick up on all these things. I'm like, it's everywhere. The first episode is called The Epiphany, which is whenever like basically Jesus as the Messiah is announced to the 3 kings. And then you see the 3 kings of hell that come after Sabrina while she's trying to study for Top Boy. So I don't know. That was just like one, and we're kicking it off right away, kind of like the patriarchy, down with the patriarchy and like the uber feminism of this season. I feel like they really played up the tie-ins with the Catholic Church and kind of like flipping those around.
Yeah, and
the whole season, the whole part leads up to, the end where we find out Sabrina is the daughter of Satan. So, I mean, she's being presented as the Antichrist, basically. And there are so many, looking back, after that reveal, if you didn't see it coming, it's pretty heavily
spelled out for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially when they're fighting the witch hunters. And you do have her floating Jean Grey-esque and like the Thorn of Crowns and performing miracles.
Yes.
And like even like I think Nick's reading that prophecy where it's just like they literally tell you, like we are
healing the sick,
like the miracles Jesus performed.
Yes.
Sick, raising the dead, curing blindness.
Yeah.
And then finally in the episode with
blindness specifically, that one I wasn't even thinking about because it's in the mortal world, but
it's very
And then finally, like sacrificing herself when she walks into the church and she full well knows she has no powers because she had lost them with the whole mandrake thing. But I don't know. Then there's the ones that they don't spell out as much for you, like the whole Immaculate Conception thing that we already talked about, where I'm kind of like thinking, where we discussed there might be like 3 parts in one for Sabrina's character.
Well, also, just real quick on that, remember on Zelda's wedding night to Father Blackwood, they had this whole ritual and tradition of, it's almost like a prima nocta thing where the Dark Lord comes and takes her. And it doesn't happen for every, witch wedding,
right?
From what they said, but like if he deigns to basically, bless, curse, whatever their version is with, sex, I wonder if that's how that happened.
That did make me think of, oh my God, I can't think of the name. With Mel Gibson, the movie that made him famous.
Oh, Braveheart.
Braveheart, yeah. I was like, oh no. Also, it just instantly was sad. Braveheart.
I was going to go Passion of the Christ. I was like, wait, that doesn't happen there.
No.
That's the other thing they reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. That could be very well when he did it. Hilda mentions that she was Diana's midwife. And she mentions that, she did have suspicions that it wasn't Edward's.
Well, and again, with the subversion of Catholic dogma, you have Catholicism is very much obsessed with virginity and purity. And the Church of Night and, in the opposite of that is very sexual. And so I doubt if, there is this concept of Sabrina being the Antichrist. I doubt that it would have been an Immaculate Conception.
Like, oh, definitely we need to have sex with these babies.
Right, for sure.
It'll be interesting because I'm sure, we have to find out.
Yeah.
Like, we need her, like, full parentage sort of explained, I think.
Not so much referencing Catholic dogma, but also, and this isn't really, the show referencing something, but just generally, like, with the Church of Satan. Did you know that I've been reading God, A Human History by Reza Aslan, and the, like, Jewish theology before there was kind of a split before what we now know as modern Judaism kind of won out. But the Church of Yahweh's competitor had a symbol of God with a bull's head. Which I thought was really fascinating, and I wonder if that's, like, somehow those two competing churches, if that's how then it got, like, the false god then associated with Satan. But
there are so many pagan religions too, where there is that symbol or concept of a a human animal hybrid.
Yeah.
So there's that concept that pops up a lot. So I'm not surprised. That's interesting though.
Well, I feel like a lot, like how you mentioned paganism, like a lot of it like branches off from like Christianity.